skin of my skin. You're in rondelay, water aching. I wanna face the condition you're in. The old wrenches hardly turn me. Can you catch a thrown line tied around me? Circle once about, please allow me. I see the pall coming off of our cheeks. We're weak, but a leaf is turning. And I move lightly in the dawn. Try to lightly ever on the leaf. Though I like summer light on you. If we ride a winter long wind, well, time's not what I belong to, and I'm not the season I'm in. Holding on close, holding on to any kind of ring I can bring you. And at the beechwood pile, good news, it's wet, but it's catching easy. And I move lightly in the dawn, try to gently ever on the leaf. Though I like summer light on you. If we ride a winter long wind, well, time's not what I belong to, and you're not the season you're in.
All right, so well, hello everyone, welcome. My name is Joe Chapeau. I am the founder of Yarn, and I am here training our new community director, Carol Maciel, who will be leading the worship. So, Carol, I just updated your name. Got to make sure it has your name.
Yeah.
And why don't you go ahead and pin yourself and read the rest of the welcome announcements?
All right. Can you hear me well? Because a connection, it's kind of glitchy tonight, but if you hear me well, it's all right. Good, great.
Can you, Carol, make sure you pin your video. So if you
Okay.
hover over the video, you click the little three buttons, you'll see pin or spotlight for everyone.
It's here.
Yeah, so do that.
So, hello all. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Young Adult Revival Network monthly worship. As Joe said, my name is Carol, and I will be one of you worship. I will be a worship leader tonight, along with Alex Jackson, who is also here with us. All of us young adults are welcome to attend a worship live online on the second Wednesday of each month. So next October, we'll do the same thing again, hopefully, and have you all. Our worship team is open, so if you want to learn how to practice making worship, please let us know. I am learning this as well, starting to study and starting to make a lot of mistakes. And we start planning on the fourth Wednesday. And we involve everyone who wants to participate regardless of attendance. So don't feel shy, just reach out. The link to our order of service is posted in the chat and the description of this video, along with ways to get our newsletter and join our community or network in general. And we're letting you know that we record this worship and we will upload it to YouTube. We strive to only have worship leaders on the recording, but sometimes participants will end up on the video as well. If you don't want to show up on camera, you can turn it off. And now we have the order of service, so you can follow along in your computer or phone.
Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Sweet the angling sun, sweet upon the air, the smell of bloom is rising. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Glorious the trees, glorious the sight of rustlings falling. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Dum, 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 dum. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Sweet the angling sun, sweet upon the air, the smell of bloom is rising. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Glorious the trees, glorious the sight of rustlings falling. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us.
Walk. My high school years were speckled with trust walks. In my Unitarian Universalist youth group at the first UU congregation of Ann Arbor each year, the incoming freshmen were given blindfolds and a partner. They were led out into the dark, only with hands on their shoulders to guide them. When it was my turn to be blindfolded, I found, while stumbling over gravel in the parking lot and trudging up the hills behind my church, that despite all the efforts to fool me, the whole time I knew exactly where I was. This was ground I knew. Before even pressing down my foot, I knew exactly how much the earth would give beneath me. I knew I was safe. I trusted the people around me. But it was easy. I knew I could have gotten along without them. After high school, I moved away for college and was looking for the belonging that I had found at home. I joined a poetry group, and our first meeting included an initiation ceremony that reminded me of my youth group trust walks. The evening started with a scavenger hunt around town and culminated with a trust walk. Blindfolded by the more senior members, I could not orient myself in the dark. For the first time in my life, I was truly lost. In this new town, I barely knew where I was with my eyes open. When I allowed a new acquaintance to guide me, I truly gave them control. Growing up, I was fortunate to be able to find ground I loved and the people I connected to at church. When I moved, the trauma of leaving such a beautiful home led me to be incredibly insecure my first few weeks away. Once I introduced myself, and the person I was talking to told me, "You say Ann Arbor like it's the center of the universe." To me, it was. It was how I related myself to the world. It was where my friends lived. I believed I could not love the people in my new home in the same way. They watched me stumble through adolescence. They would never really know, or they hadn't watched me stumble through adolescence, and they would never really know me. I felt that I was living away from where my life truly was. I only started to adjust when the fall colors began to paint the trees around me. I found a sense of familiarity in the season. Time had not stopped, even though little else in life felt continuous. When I took a second to fall in love with fall, I started taking time to fall in love with the people around me. I began to discover ways in which my new friends were similar to my old friends and appreciate the ways in which they were different. I learned to be comfortable with not always recognizing the similarities. People keep telling me that in order to make most of this time, I must live like I am dying. I, I find this idea constricting because so much of the idea of dying for me involves being my final complete self, the person I want to grow into. This self who lives her values perfectly and only creates beauty. This is quite far from who I am now. Instead of trying to achieve that impossible state, I am letting go for now. By allowing myself to trust the future and change that comes with it, I get I get to stop and question. I do not need to rush. Today I am with new people, learning new norms and new definitions of everything I thought I understood. I'm learning to take steps forward without knowing whether the ground will hold me. I will not look down to search for familiarity, but instead look forward to the seasons ahead, to inevitable change and growth.
Thank you, Alex. And now we have more music. Right now, we've listened to some music, and it's time for our reflection. And it was written by me yesterday, but now, as I'm here with you, it has changed, and we have to follow through these changes because I think that they make it more meaningful. So I wrote that as I'm here with you tonight or today, depending on where you are, um, I would be, and I actually am, preparing to join a worship course for lay leaders. And I was a little nervous, and I am nervous. But the thing is, um, my reflection has to do with the fact that if you're ignorant on something and you really want to learn, you deserve it. And you shouldn't really feel bad for not knowing how to do stuff or making mistakes as long as you're trying to solve them. And more than that, um, are we creating a safe space so people who don't really know how to do stuff can feel all right and can feel included and can offer their best? I mean, um, as I was writing this, I was going through um, the course description and the deadlines, and I thought it was such a coincidence that it was going to start in the day of our monthly worship. And I am choosing today, to take it as a symbol of learning, a symbol of hope, and and the eagerness of being vulnerable and sharing my ignorance and sharing the achievements as well as part of the process and as an example for anyone, any young adult who is maybe uncertain if they should or shouldn't try something new or something challenging. And I would share this as the encouragement for you all, and also a way to express gratitude for helping make this a safe space for people who are learning. Thank you. And now we have more music in the similar vibe, and let's listen to more music. That was beautiful. They're very, very talented, and it looks really hard. Now we're moving to the blessing part of our service. And as a little explanation, I'm not based in the US, so we don't really have the blessing of the backpacks here because the school year doesn't start right now in September. So it's somewhat unfamiliar, but also makes total sense. I mean, we wear backpacks to school, and I guess the purpose is something shared, just not at this time of the year. But there was someone called Dana Edwards who wrote something called The Blessing of the Electronic Devices. And I think it was really interesting because the electronic devices are helping us gather here tonight. So we are going to dive into this blessing that's different, but really has to do with something close to our lives. And I will read to you this time. So let's start. The blessing of the electronic devices. Dear ones, this week we start a new school year, a school year like no other. Here we are, embarking on a new way of being together and learning together. Whether you are in pre-K, completing an advanced degree, or using a device to connect with family or friends, your learning in this school year will include using electronic devices in new and creative ways. I invite you to take your tablet, Chromebook, or other electronic device and join me in a ritual of blessing to begin the school year. Let's take a moment to breathe into all the adjustments we have made to our lives and our education so that we may stay safe and keep our loved ones safe from COVID-19. Let's breathe and release our attachment to the way things used to be as we feel the weight of our electronic device in our hands and or on our laps. We can use that weight to ground us and center us, making our connection to the earth sturdier. Let's breathe and open our hearts to gratitude for all of the creativity, the resources, and human labor that went into making this device functional for us. Let's breathe and find a moment of awe and wonder for the ways that we are invisibly, almost ethereally connected through electricity and Wi-Fi and 3G and 4G or even Bluetooth. Let's breathe and remember that it is not the device that has value. The value is finding the connections which the device allows us to sustain. Let's breathe and imagine all of those people with whom we have connected virtually in this time of physical distance and hold their presence in our hearts. As we close this blessing, I invite you to take a moment to clean your device so that you can have a clean start to the new school year. I also invite you to bring something from nature into our space, into the space of your device. It could be a flower, a rock, an orange, a blade of grass, something to bring you back to the eternal beauty of the divine when the online world gets overwhelming. Blessings for the new school year. And now we have our closing hymn called We Lift Our Hearts in Thanks Today.
We lift our hearts in thanks today for all the gifts of life, for health and strength to work each day quiet trust and deep humility.
And for our closing words, we are taking inspiration from the work of Michelle Collins, who wrote this literally 5 days ago, and it really resonated with the uncertainty that we're living through. So it is called Changes Abound. Changes abound around us, within us, between us, in our communities, our neighborhoods, and our beloved faith communities. Changes abound. May we each find a balance point we need as we move through our ever-changing world. The balance between the old and the new, between the known and the unknown, between the familiar and perhaps bold and risky possibilities that may be there waiting. So those were her words, also listed in your observance. Thank you so much for listening to me. And thank you, Alex, for reading The Trust Walk. It really sounded more trustful in your voice. And thank you all for being here together. Joe, can I pass it to you?
Why don't you play the last song for the recording?
Do you have a lesson? Oh, we do. Sorry.
And yeah,
It's a popular song.